What's up, guys? It's your girl, Miss O, and we are back with another review with me. And we are going to get into the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Now, I know I'm late. I know the episode came on Sunday, and y'all are getting this review on a Friday. But I'm trying to be consistent. But hey, I got a sophomore going to senior prom Saturday. So, with that being said, do me a favor, like the video as you come in, subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews. So we are going to get into season 1, episode 6 of Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and it is titled Newport, New Problems. So we open up the scene with Liz, and she is FaceTiming Kelsey, and they just having a little bit of girl chat. Kelsey has made the decision to remove herself from a long-term relationship. Now, she gave us this little sob story on whatever she say. My honest opinion, I think that Kelsey has gotten to the age of 30. She is looking more like a middle-aged woman to that man than the barely grown woman that she was when she met that man. I honestly think that this was his parting gift to her. And what I mean, if you are any kind of fan of Real Housewives, you know Beverly Hills came on, and Kelsey Grammer was getting ready to divorce his wife, and he allowed her to make that cash from that show and put that situation on blast so he can exit and she can have some cash on the back end. So Liz expresses that she was proud of her. She know that, this was a tough decision for her. And it was only a tough decision because look at the house she lived in. And she lived in there half the year without having to be bothered with a man. Like, I feel like that's an ideal life. Now, what I'm not cool with is y'all sitting up here trying to sell Billy to us. We don't believe that y'all are in a relationship. The viewers believe that you went and got a renter man. Okay? But anyway, we're going to move forward. Liz is expressing to her that she is happy for her. She feel like that she's made the right decision. Basically, Liz is encouraging her to get on her own 2 feet, stand tall, and do what she need to do as a grown woman. But it's clear she is going to have some bumps in the road because she don't understand what a principal is. She's never really paid a bill. And she, for 10 years, had maids at the house picking out the seeds from a lemon slice. So, I mean, do with that what you will. Within that conversation, Kelsey let it be known that he didn't even fight her about the relationship, and that just goes to show you that he's no longer interested in the relationship. And even though he may have feelings towards you or some kind of love there, he wasn't just gonna put you out in the street. But y'all both are aware that this situation no longer works for either one of y'all, and it's just time for y'all to let it go. So we move on to the next scene, which is a Rosie, and she is sitting with her husband as she's packing for a trip that we found out that was discussed at the polo event. Now, I don't like how they didn't wrap up that polo event, because they sure be liking stuff to bleed over into the next episode. But anywho, Rosie is getting together with her husband, getting her things ready for the trip to this mansion in Newport. And she's talking with her husband. And I'm going to just be honest, I don't think that couple is going to be married for long. Because it seems like he's into her and she's not into him for real, honestly. So in her confessional, she was like, I've been to mansions. These are some pretty big houses. She's like, but I'm not really into that kind of stuff, Not really. Rosie, stop lying. You just talk because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Because right after that, you say, I guess that's why I'm building a really big house. Girl, you want the look that Liz and all the rest of the girls that got the big bang buck has. You want that. So stop acting like you don't, okay? I will say, I would like to know the address to the island of delusion that Rosie is on. She says she's good with Liz. She says she's good with Joellen. She's good with Alicia. I mean, Alicia almost just sliced your throat with the words last episode. I'm not sure if you good with Joellen. You might be good with Liz, and we know you're not good with Kelsey. I think Kelsey just don't like you because she just don't like you. Instead of being a woman and saying that, she's making up these petty reasons to have an issue with you. That's what I think personally when it comes to Kelsey. But I think you're a little delusional, and it's because everybody can see right through you. Everybody. I'm also not buying what she's trying to sell us with telling us that she's weird and awkward. No. You're messy and you're a pick-me. Those are two different things. So we wrap up the Rosie scene with her husband Rich, and we go on to Joellen. Now Joellen and her sister Jen meet at a boutique because of course you got to get some retail therapy, but it was also a check-in moment for Jen to check on her sister. We found out last episode that she buried her grandfather, who was like a second father to her. He lived to be 100 years old, and we just lost my great grandmother, and she was 104. And I'm not sad about it because she lived 104 years. That's a long damn time. And she lived a great life. You know what I'm saying? So no tears shedded over here. But I definitely can understand her her feelings and knowing that she's gonna have to go on without her second dad. But that also brings up other things. And those other things is her relationship with her mother. In Joellen's confessional, she expresses that she does not have a great relationship with her mother. You know, how you want that motherly bond or what you see on TV. You desire those things. She says that her upbringing was totally different from her sister's upbringing. She just gonna call a spade and let y'all know that Jen was the favorite. It's definitely some mother wounds there, and it's something that definitely needs to be addressed, because you have feelings too, and your parents need to know that. I definitely went on that journey with mine. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bring that up. Just know, respect what they give you, and don't expect nothing from them individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, give what you're going to get to them, and they're going to give you what they're going to give you, and be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier said than done, but it is what it is, honestly. I do like that Joellen is talking about this because a lot of people are experiencing it, have experienced it, have the understanding of the experience. So I'm glad that she is speaking about it. I'm also glad that her sister is being genuine. Like, I know she ain't going to change. So instead of driving myself crazy, I just accept what she give and keep it pushing. But you have unresolved issues with her that need to be addressed. So when you get that under wraps, then we'll see moving forward how you and your mother relationship works out. Now, I did find it a little off-putting with you saying that your husband gave you all the love and affection that you didn't receive in your childhood, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace. So we wrap up the scene. They finish off the conversation. Her sister expressed that she's proud of her for stopping the cycle with her children. And Joellen thanks her sister for meeting her. Um, I'm glad that Joella has her sister to have these type of conversations with, because it's nothing like having somebody that understands you, because they experience your experience from a different lens. So we are moving on to the next scene, which is Liz arriving at Kelsey's ex-boyfriend mega house. So she already started packing. Liz brings her coffee. Liz really seems like a dope friend. Like that friend that you really need in your corner. But anywho, they're getting together today, having a little chit chatter about, what's next for Kelsey. Liz letting her know that she's proud of her. And Liz give her a little token. It was a compass with a nice saying on there. And you can tell that Kelsey need a friend in her corner right now, because she don't know what the hell is going to happen. She been living a life of luxury for a decade, and now she got to go out here and make her own money. We'll see how long this lasts. So we wrap up that scene, and the next scene is the ladies getting together for their Newport Mansion trip. So Liz and Alicia is hosting the trip. They are going to this old castle. So Liz thought it was a great idea that they arrive in style, and they are going to pull up in some vintage Rolls Royces. And man, these ladies got some money. But anywho, the ladies arrive and they are picking out the cars that they're going to be in. So Alicia and Liz is in one car, and Liz is giving us a little education on where they're headed. While on their way to the castle, Alicia asks Liz how Kelsey is doing. And Kelsey, like, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. So Kelsey and Joe Ellen is riding in the other car. Liz let Alicia know that she hasn't spoken to Rulala since the polo trip. Rulala is probably at home under the covers crying her lashes off, because that was a little much at the polo scene. So they decide to call her, and she did not pick up. This castle that they're going to be staying in is over 4,300 square feet. It has 18 bathrooms, 29 bedrooms. Oh my God, I could not imagine. I would not want to live in a house that big. So the ladies pick out their room, and Liz has her own room. Alicia has her own room. Joellen and Kelsey are sharing a room. Rosie and Ashley are sharing a room. I wonder why, when it's 29 bedrooms. Anywho, moving along, Alicia lets them know that they're having an event. It's going to be a doll tea party. And yeah, I think Alicia obsession for those dolls is a little bit weird, because it's not like a collector's thing. It's I'm trapped and I'm trying to remember my childhood in the best way I can remember my childhood before my world was blew up. I was playing with these Barbie dolls. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. So everybody gets dressed. First, Alicia arrives with the dolls, and The setup is very beautiful. They got this carriage outside that the ladies can sit in and they arrive. And while Liz is walking down, she falls. Liz, are you drunk? Or was it really the shoes? But anyway, Joellen, you're mad disrespectful for the comment that you gave Rosie. I know you ain't really feeling her. But I like Rosie. Clap back. She's like, that's what I was trying to do. That's how you got to play with these mean girls sometimes. So, Joellen asks Alicia, what does these dolls mean to you? And she go on a bunch of hoopla, BS lies. And I love how Joellen and Liz was clocking her. Like, they know she be full of shit, but they love her. So I'm just gonna call you out when you're on your bullshit. And that's why we're friends. So the ladies sitting down and they are enjoying their tea party. And the girls are inquiring about Rue La La and are asking, is she coming? They let her know, hey, I gave her a call, but she didn't answer. Joellen taking her, going in there for the kill. It's wicked rude that she's not here. No, I understand why Rula don't want to be around y'all group of ladies. Like, give me a break, Joellen. You gotta back up off of her. Like, I definitely understand why you feel the way you feel. I definitely understand that. But I think at this point, you got to evaluate who you need to be putting that torch. And that's her husband, honestly. Her husband was the one that called your job and tell your business. Alicia elaborates on what's going on with Lala. She like, I think she just wants to work on her marriage, and Liz tells Joellen, like, I think she questions your motives on why you trying to do this. And Joellen like, what motives? Because I sure don't want her cheating ass husband. Baby, Liz is my type of girl. Do you hear me? Because Joellen said, I feel bad and you guys should feel bad too. And Liz said, but do you really feel bad? And she said, I do. And honestly, I do feel like she do feel bad, but the way you're going about it is not cool now. It is, you gotta back off, Joellen. The ladies in the conversation, they like, hey, let's discuss this when she is here. Liz let them know that later on in the evening they are gonna have a black tie event. So we find out that it's gonna be a masquerade type dinner. This dinner was Liz's idea. She says all of us come in with a mask on, and if we reveal something about ourselves, it gives some sort of camaraderie. I'm not really sure about that, because if you devote some vulnerable information around a BI that don't mess with you, it can become ammunition to fire at you. So Liz is going to have one of the butlers at the castle deliver masquerade masks to the ladies. So the first one up is going to be Rosie, and hers is big because Liz feel like she put on this big facade, but she know that it's something deeper there. So next up was Ashley, and she sent her a full face mask because she believes she lives a subdued life. Next was Joellen. She called her the gesture, and she believes that there's some heavier stuff there, which there is. Next up is Kelsey. You see this dark side of her, but the people who really know her know that she's fun, bright, loving. Then it's Alicia. She put up a front like everything is great, but it's really not. And it seemed like these descriptions of the ladies are very accurate. So then Liz pops down with a wolf mask on. And baby, you did that. I I like the thought that she really put into getting these ladies a mask. Now, I will say, Ashley could have had a different kind of mask, because how's she gonna eat? So the ladies give Liz her tens for picking the mask. Liz wanted to find out if anybody was uncomfortable. I do like that Ashley spoke up and said, mine. I do also like Liz telling the ladies, the purpose of this dinner. And Joellen goes first. She begins to say, most of y'all know me good, well, I can have a good and a bad side to me. But a lot of the bad stems from childhood trauma. And then she divulges that she was in a behavioral program. Alicia knew about that. She said it was horrible. The program that Joellen was in was it sounded like for juveniles. And she just felt like the things that she did as a child or a teenager were teenager things and not behavior issues. And she just didn't feel the love from her mother. So that's just going to stem and keep, play a major role in what you got going on in your life. And that's just that. Until you seek professional help. Joanna asks Liz, what makes Lizzie so hard? And she divulges that she suffered a lot of loss at such a young age. Liz lost her mom at the age of 15, and she does tell us that she has abandonment issues. Next up was Ashley, and Crybaby Spice came out. She brought up being on The Bachelor and not having a quote-unquote sob story to tell, and she lost me. In Joellen Confessional, she said Ashley's crying because she has nothing to talk about. Just put the mask on. And yeah, because I didn't understand. I had no rhyme or understanding on where she was going with that. Next up was Rosie, and she started off by saying, a lot of people don't know that I have a lot of anxiety. She says that she's really shy, and she said, I'm being bigger is more like for TV and for Instagram. So basically, she putting on the show. I'm not sure who asked the question, but they asked Rosie, don't you think we will want to get to know your genuine self? And she said, when I get comfortable around people, I'll start to let you in. And I'm paraphrasing with that. Next up was Kelsey. Kelsey says when it comes to her relationship, that's the only thing that she's mega sensitive about. Girl, y'all not in a relationship anymore. So why are we talking about that? Anywho, Alicia chimes in and say, I had to break it up, but how are you doing after the breakup? So it appears that Alicia knew about the breakup, Liz knew about the breakup, but the other ladies didn't know about the breakup. And Joella knew about it, but she was looking at Alicia like, why are you bringing this up here in front of Rosie? And Rosie don't mess with Kelsey. Joella asks her, how do you think Bill is different than your ex? And she goes and chimes in and say, he cares, he listens. She asks her, do you think about marriage with him? And she said, he's marriage material. Then Ashley asks, do you still talk to your ex, like friends? And she tells her, yes, we have a good relationship. Then she chimes in and says, there's still a lot of things that actually connects the two of us. Then she continues on by saying, he still pays for things. Kelsey, why are you letting these girls in your business? She tells the ladies that he still pay her health insurance, he pay her car insurance, and she's getting her own place. And I believe he agreed to pay for that too. So they want to know why is he doing these things. And she like, if we was married, I definitely will be walking away with way more than that. And basically, that's the least he can do. So Rosie in her confessional was like, now he just pays all your bills. Now he's a real sugar daddy. That's why people don't like you. You want the life that they have, but you want to talk shit about how they go about getting it. So next up is Alicia, and she goes in to explain that she's seen dark things that no kid should have seen. So Joellen probes and she like, basically elaborate. I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, is it with, about your dad? She said that her life wasn't easy. So what she can remember, her dad left them homeless. So somebody chimed in and was like, wait, you were homeless? Liz said, you were never homeless. Liz was basically checking her like, look, you got a big, beautiful family. Yeah, your mom and dad separated. He sold the house. Y'all had to move back in with your grandparents. But you were never homeless. I'm not going to sit here and let you say that. In other words, girl, you is not about to get me cussed out by my big sister for not defending her best friend, which is your mama. Okay? So they wrap up the dinner. Everybody thought that the masquerade dinner was a good thing. And here come Kelsey with her hating ass saying to Rosie that I think this is the first genuine thing that came out of your mouth. Kelsey, what is wrong with you? Why you don't like Rosie? I know why I don't care for Rosie. I stated why I don't care for Rosie. We don't know why you don't care for Rosie. And if it's because she did not tag you on an Instagram post, you're petty and you need to grow the up. Okay? Like, why? Why ruin the moment? It made no sense. Kelsey did say, for the first time, I felt like he was telling the truth. And Rosie, like, what didn't I tell the truth about? Yeah, what didn't she tell the truth about? I think she exaggerates a whole lot. But is there something factual that she did not tell the truth about that you know that we don't know? Now, I will say Ashley is the type of friend that you need because when Joellen jumped in, which she shouldn't have, she jumped in talking to Rosie and Ashley like, hey, this ain't no double teaming thing. So if you can say something, then I can say something. And she like, that was a backhanded comment. How are you expecting her to respond when you're basically saying that she's a liar? And I'm paraphrasing with that. But then in the confessional, we find out that she had to be told to stand up for her friend. So I don't know. I might have jumped the gun a little bit because you should just stand up for your friend when she's right. But shouldn't nobody have to tell you to step up for your friend? I'm going to tell you one thing. One thing Alicia know how to do is change the subject. Liz thanks the ladies for attending the masquerade dinner. She said, whatever you want to do for the rest of the night, go ahead and do it. We're going to reconvene for breakfast in the morning. So the ladies go back to their room and Rosie and Ashley are having girl talk, talking about what transpired. And they are talking shit. But you got these immature acting ladies standing outside their bedroom, eavesdropping on what they're talking about. And Kelsey takes it upon herself to go in the room with Rosie. One, we would have had an issue because the first thing I would have been like is, excuse me, why the fuck you in my room? Why are you in my room? Kelsey, why did you feel like it was okay to go into that room without knocking on the door? So Ashley ain't scared and she with the shit. So she said, hey, we was talking about what happened at dinner. Like, I felt like the compliment that you gave her was a backhanded compliment. And she felt bad because everybody started snapping her at her, which Joellen it kicked it off because she jumped in and she didn't have no business jumping in. Y'all two are grown. Y'all can have your own battles. So Kelsey say, I don't think it was a backhanded comment or compliment. I just don't think you have been being honest. So Ashley said, cut the shit. Let's be specific. What has she lied about? So Kelsey says her house, her job. She said you got fired and you're telling people that you left for mental health reasons. She says that Rosie just blurts things out, basically calling her a liar, talking about she's building an 8,000 square feet. Ma'am, you're leaving a mansion and you don't have anywhere to go. Why are you concerned about whatever she got going on at a house her and her husband owns? Okay? So Rosie just basically say, hey, if you don't like the answers that I gave you, I don't know what to tell you. And then Kelsey gonna fire you off talking about, I really don't care about what you got going on. Yes, you do, because you're bringing it up like it's an issue. Why do you care if she's lying? Like, just tell the truth. You don't like the girl. You really don't have a reason to not like her, but you just don't like her. And just be honest. I would respect you more if you said that. So Rosie says, maybe you just don't want to like me. And then Kelsey tried to flip it and say, you don't want to like me. Rosie said, look, I'm fine with that. Look, you coming from my house and you don't have a house. You coming from our relationship and I have a husband and you don't. You're attacking my career and you've been in your career for only a year. Like, come on. Rosie called it. She said, maybe it's easier for you to project on me so you wouldn't have everybody coming at you and what you really got going on in your life. So at the end of the episode, Rosie say, thank you guys for coming in and visiting us. There's the door over there. Good night. That is how you tell a mother to get out my space. But that was the end of the episode. If you made it to the end of my review, please drop a green heart in the comments for me. Let's have some Discord. Tell me what you thought about Sunday's episode of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Again, I'm your girl, Miss O, and this is what I had to say about Real Housewives of Rhode Island.